Hello, welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be covering the garden, everything that I'm doing in the garden, the works, there'll be time lapses, the lot. Be going through all this, however it won't be in one part. There's a bit too much to cover in one part, the video's already quite lengthy, but there'll be lots of detail in it and you can skip through. There'll be cool music on the time lapses and not so cool me talking, but I hope you enjoy it. I'll cover anything that wants to be covered in the second video, i.e. I'm sure people will ask how much things cost. People always want to know that stuff, and I think you'll be shocked at how little it's going to cost as well, because there's a lot of reclaimed materials and a lot of repurposing old stuff. But yeah, enjoy. So here is it before. This is the day I got the keys. So you can see how high the concrete level is outside, all the waste pipes, and then there was this lean-to, a couple of windows, one single glazed, one double glazed at the back, and then overgrown garden. So you had foxgloves, rose bushes, trees. The soil in here is awful as well. So it's full of bricks, rubble, and then obviously there was that greenhouse. But it's got that wall down the one side, which is great for privacy and also for digging up to, as there's nothing to fall away. And here's a snapshot just before it all kicked off. Just one last memory of that messy old garden.
I'm here when you need my voice. 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 When you need my voice, I'm here. When you need my voice, I'm here. When you need my voice, I'm here. When you need my voice.
So I've dug all this out, got all that soil there, which we'll probably put in some planters, and then do some sort of steps in the middle. I'm going to take out this bit of concrete here, which that comes about a metre, but I've got my soil pipe running through here, so I need to be careful with that. And I don't crack that because it's old clay, but I've dropped all this down. Sort of see how far I've come down. Originally, the soil level was up here, and the damp course like here, so it's a bit worrying. But yeah, you can sort of see alongside that brick wall where I've removed the soil. But yeah, starting to put down hardcore and a weed membrane, getting ready for the patio. So I'm just going to continue that, and then I've got my whacker in there for the next part.
You're pulling on my walls down. I've never been exposed like this before. I'm good at shutting you out. I've always had a way of keeping closed. Beating, hiding, I've been calling out your name from the darkness, thinking it's too late. If you're finding I've been too much on your plate, I'll keep hiding, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name.
So a bit messy, but that's all crushed, which was a big curb or step here. So I'm just going to continue it all the way across to a retaining wall, and then it'll be all patio here. But yeah, need to get some crush down here. I've got some here, it's mounded up. So I'll level that down there, and then I've got some patio slabs and bricks way down there that I need to break up and get down this section. And then it's on to whackering. But yeah, I've got the whacker ready to go. I haven't used it as of yet. It's a little special. Just need to top up the oil, work out how to start it, and put some fuel in it, and we're ready to go. But yeah, also need to tidy, but that'll be more of a tomorrow job. It's getting a bit late now, as you can see out there. And then yeah, be on to moving this hardcore down here, patio slabs, bricks down here. Hopefully it's enough. I say hopefully, I think it'll be enough. And then I've got all my sharp sand out there, and I just need to get some fresh cement in, and then it's slabbing time. But I'll more likely finish off my kitchen, which is still ongoing at the moment. So not sure what order the videos will come out in, whether it's the patio, garden area, or the kitchen first. But as it stands, beginning of March 2024, the kitchen isn't done. I'm waiting on a dishwasher, and just about to cook a pizza. So just starting to clear up the garden. Lots to do. Got slabs, pluck these off the floor. Probably go into hardcore for the new patio, which is there. But want to turn most of this into flat grass. Remove the greenhouse and attempt to level it out a little bit. Gonna get a weed membrane across, kill most of these weeds and whatnot. But yeah, stay tuned for the further progress. That's all the hardcore I got. So all these old slabs, I guess they're what, like 45 by 45, something like that, and a bunch of bricks, but I need these for a wall repair, and then a bunch of just old pots and old bricks, which will smash up nicely. So I'm just gonna barrow them down all the way down there and then smash them a bit. and level it all out. But yeah, for £250 I think it was, I'll double check, but what a win. So I didn't capture a lot of this footage, but it is me smashing the rocks to bits. I'm using a claw hammer. This is not a repeatable task you can do throughout your life. You'll end up with some form of white finger, so you'll lose circulation in your fingers. Not good to do it long term, smashing rocks like that. I'm also using sledgehammer to smash up these patio slabs and then just going back over it with the whacker, trying to do it in layers. It's not a driveway, so I don't need to go crazy with it, but it's important that I do it in layers. So with all the soil I've dug out of that patio area, I'm now grading it, or rather sieving it through a homemade sieve, which is just mesh on some bits of 4x2 over the top of my barrow. So I'm hand feeding everything on with the shovel, which is everything that I've dug. You ideally want to do this in semi-dry conditions so it doesn't all stick together. However, you don't want to leave it to peak summer because then it's even harder digging. So you've got to time it quite well. This was like March time. It was a little bit wet. But yeah, I'm just going through it. It's tons and tons, and this is a repeatable task. So I was doing it on my lunch breaks and after work in the evenings. I'm still working full time whilst doing this. And yeah, just going through and then spreading it across the garden as I go. So you can see I'm getting out all the larger chunks. It's 20mm mesh. Oh no, sorry, it's 15mm mesh. And it gets rid of all the bigger stones, lets the smaller stones fall through, which is obviously quite important to keep some stones in there for drainage and whatnot. I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but just taking out the larger bits of rubble, brick. There's some more interesting stories that have gone on with this garden I won't reveal in this video, but essentially there's a lot of rubble in here for a certain reason. So there's a removal of a lot of the foliage. This is all the stuff that's round the greenhouse. I'm putting it into grab bags and then taking it to the tip. Also got my, if you see me moving it there, I had all my aluminium, which I then also took to the scrapyard. I think I got about £45 for the aluminium in the greenhouse. But just trying to separate the waste as best as possible, because you can take soil to the tip, but I kind of need it in the garden. It's just removing all the stone from everything else is the important bit for me. But I found this, I don't know whether it's a fiberglass pond shell, but they were using it as a planter of sorts, and it was just full of random bits of rubbish. So I'm just clearing that as I go, and then that will also be going to the tip. As I sort through everything, you can sort of see the waste, and as I separate everything, it is very manual. I think I estimated it would take me around 30 hours to do this in lunch breaks and evenings, which I did over the space of 2 weeks. It wasn't too bad. It's a phenomenal workout as well. There's something about carrying things which is a different type of workout, which seems to affect your body completely differently. But yeah, loads and loads of stone removed of the largest stone, and I'm just digging it all the way back. At this point I'm 3/4 of the way. So just taking out the base of the greenhouse, or started to, and then been doing loads of soil screening. Gonna mix in all this ash. I've got a petrol rotavator to get through all this, but yeah, that'll be fun. Need to burn all this as well. So this is me down the bottom of the garden, working around that old greenhouse base, as I'd covered most of the rest of the garden, and I was trying to level it as I go. So I'm digging it, screening the soil, and then going back on myself, dropping it around me. But yeah, separating out all that green waste so I can take it to the tip. It's quite important to do this now, as later on it becomes awkward to separate it. So I've got these handy bags, and I think my dad gave them to me. And yeah, I've got all the buckets there which accumulate all the stone. The stone I'm separating into a pile at the bottom of the garden, which I'll use to mix it into my aggregates that I'm going to be doing footings for a wall. And yeah, I've doing that with a trommel as sort. So I'm putting the stone into a giant sieve and then moving it through water to clean all the stone, but it's left out in the rain as well, which helps the top layers to take off all the dirt. And then here's me going through with the petrol rotavator that my friend lent me. He's quite into his allotment, so his family have petrol rotavator, so it came in handy. And then I'm just raking all that loose soil relatively flat. We did have some heavy rains, so it makes it drop in certain areas where it's not as compacted. But you can see the soil quality actually looks quite good to eye here, where it's all mixed in. So I was quite happy with that, because this is just all that ash and everything mixed into it down the bottom of the garden. And then it's moving back to the other end of the garden where there was still some work that needed doing. I still had a massive mound of mud to get through. So I'm going back through that, getting rid of all the rubbish as such, separating the green into bags, separating the stone, and then moving that screen topsoil down onto a pile that I can rake flat with the rest of the garden. You start to see how much work goes into this garden, and if I were to get people in to do it, it wouldn't be very cost effective, just because the access isn't very good, and they would opt to remove a lot of the material and then replace it with topsoil, typically good quality screen topsoil, rather than grading the existing topsoil, because it's very, very time consuming. And also they would look to get a digger in rather than manually dig it. So if you inversely think about it, it's a great cost saving to do it yourself this way on this type of house. I'm known to get carried away with digging. You will have seen in previous videos and competitions with my cousin. This got quite late. I think it was like 7 or 8 in the evening. Bear in mind, I usually finish work around 3. So yeah, I've been digging out here for quite some hours. And I was working underneath the festoon lights, which illuminated it a lot better than this video shows. But yeah, it was quite nice to be able to work into the evening and be outside and it not be freezing cold and soaking wet. After that, it was time to get in the big guns, so I had to call in my nephew. He's only 1, however, he seems to have great experience in digging. So that was utilised here. He's got on all his safety overalls. He's checking through, making sure I'm doing everything correctly and following all the correct procedures. He was very happy with the level of worms that I have in the garden, and he was happy for me to proceed. So I'm in the final stretch. This is all the compacted soil, so I'm separating it with the mattock. All this compacted soil was the leftovers of what I've dug out of the patio area. So it's, again, a lot of rubbish mixed in there, but it had been raining and it was sticking together and clogging up the screener. So, as I said earlier, it's important to pick the weather. However, you can't pick the weather, so you've got to work with what you've got. Luckily, it dried out a little bit in the afternoon, so do get good morning sun in the garden. And if there's wind moving over the soil, it can dry it out. But yeah, separating all that stone, going back through it, and the end is in sight. So it was around 4 tonne of stone removed from this garden, which I found to be insane. I piled it all up at the bottom of the garden, and then there is an access path, so I had to barrow it all round, and I did that the other day and got really, really sunburnt, but it's done. So it's been dug right back at the edge of what's going to be the patio area. I need to do a set of steps up here somewhere. Haven't decided whether I'm going to dig them out, but there's a bit of concrete here that goes across, got some tree roots to get through. You can sort of see the levels where I've dug it back and then screened all that soil. That section's obviously already been done. I've got a section down the end I need to burn, but then there's a concrete path that runs all the way down here where my future patio slabs are, and that's going to be laid all here, all around here. Set of steps, I think, up through the middle, down, round, and all the way down the garden. But yeah, you can see here where this has all been screened. It's just me sifting through all the stones with the homemade screener. That is all this rubbish here, which I've just been putting down the bottom of the garden or using as hardcore over here once I've cleaned it all out. So I'm at a place to re-level this, get my falls right again, as I've had more rock come from the garden that I've just re-smashed up with this sledgehammer, which, if you can hear my breath, great workout. Just got to cover up the windows, don't want to crack those. But yeah, so got like a section of concrete here, steps going to go here as mentioned, and then need to get rid of that stump, but I'm going to level all this, rotate it right back. It's all been hand sieved with this thing. It's just 4 bits of 4x2 and a bit of chicken wire, like 10-15 mil. And yeah, getting all the large stones out of it, moving them all down to the very bottom, down there somewhere. But yeah, you can sort of see where the path's going to run now, starting to come together. And yeah, I'll buzz through that with a petrol rotavator and rake, and yeah, on to grass seeding.
Bear with me, don't gotta worry for the both of us. Put you in the driver's seat, don't gotta hurry and I need love.
After 15 days or so, this is the grass growth. Lots of pigeon chasing, but the seed's coming through quite well. As you can see from upstairs, it's covering the garden. But I decided to go a little bit bigger on the patio area. It had dropped in certain locations where we had some real heavy rain. So I needed to remove all the aggregates that are in the garden, or sand, and there was a little bit of stone. So I've got to move it obviously all by hand. Luckily I've got these bags so I can pile it within there and stop cross-contamination. But it was looking like I was in a different country at certain points of the day. Got a bit hot and sweaty, but yeah, moving it off this slab so I can clean the edge and run a straight edge right across here for my retaining wall that I'm going to need to build, which my steps are going to run against. But gosh, doesn't that grass look great? So like the Dutch, I'm reclaiming the land. I'm digging back a bit further. I need to be careful here not to use the mattock, as my clay soil pipe runs pretty much directly where I'm standing into a drain just behind that yellow bag. So digging this all back, regrading it, and then spreading it over that lovely, lovely lawn. It had dropped in certain locations, so I'm trying to get that level back. Just where we had some real heavy rain. Anything that was looser seemed to drop down as the heavy rains came in. But it's given me an extra couple of foot of garden space, or rather patio space. And I think it will be a better finish, because by the time the French doors open, it does eat into a little bit of that patio space. And I've got plenty of slabs, so that's not an issue.
breathing in too deep, yeah. Am I just your little secret? I didn't hear the sirens, I didn't wanna see the warning signs, and now I pay the price, yeah.
Okay, so you will have seen, I haven't done a video on all of it, didn't time-lapse me doing more digging, but I've dug the garden back a little bit further. I'll just show you. So if you have a look there, you can see I've done some sort of footing, but I've dug the garden back another at least 3 foot, I reckon. Maybe 2 foot. 2 foot back. There's a step up. I'm going to have a block wall going all the way across, patio leading up to it, and then a set of steps in the middle. Patio, 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 patio. I have partly covered that plan, but it's an ever-changing, ever-evolving plan. So what I say next time may be different to this time. But I'm going to crush some more rocks because I've got a lot more hardcore there with the sledgehammer. Bit of manual labour. And yeah, spread it out, and I may or may not put you on time lapse. It's just me swinging the hammer, so.
It hits me like a tidal wave every time you say my name. It hits me like a tidal wave. It hits me like a tidal wave. A tidal wave.
Okay, that was a fun workout. I don't know whether that's classed as zone 2 cardio or some sort of other anaerobic exercise, but that was good fun. Just make sure you got these on and some trackies, because I cut my legs up pretty bad last time doing that, just because you got bits of concrete just flying at you at 50, 100, I don't know, miles per hour. But yeah, that's some more rocks crushed. I'll spread them out tomorrow on my lunch break. Yeah, going well.